today I will show you how I did this really cool photo manipulation. So let's start. Hey guys, it's Nemanja and welcome to another really fun episode. Today I will be using Photoshop 2020, the newest version up to this date, to show you how I did this really cool photo manipulation. And this version is full of some cool improvements and new tools. I will show you a few of them along with the tutorial, and also I will show you a lot of interesting and cool tips, tricks and techniques from this one, so stay with me until the end and enjoy the ride. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Photoshop and let the fun begin. Alright guys, let's start this by showing you a few photos that we will use for this photo manipulation. So this is the background, some desert with some cool sky. Then we have this cool photo, this cool artwork, then a photo of myself and another photo of myself. I will show you why will I use this later, and that's basically it. And also these pillars that we will use that I created in Cinema 4D. I will not show you how I did this because this is not the point of this tutorial. You can use anything. This is just me showing you how I did this photo manipulation and giving you ideas for your own artwork. And also I will show you a lot of cool tips, tricks and techniques from this episode. I will quickly show you how you can create simple pillars in Photoshop using Photoshop's 3D element here. So let's hide this. Let's create new layer and let's go here to 3D tab and go to new mesh preset, and you can create cube or cube wrap. I like cube wrap. We can go to 3D space, why not? So now we have a 3D tab right here on the upper right corner, and this is a cube. As you can see, this is really cool cube, but we need to modify it. So we need to go here to cube wrap, okay, and then we have all those options. We can move it up, down, back, forward, left, right, etc. We can rotate it, okay, and we can make it bigger or smaller, actually transform it like this. And if we go to this middle cube, we can make everything bigger and smaller proportionally. So I want to rotate it a little bit, make it even bigger, and like this, like a big stick, like a pillar. Okay, and also I want to go to a scene and want to modify this. So I want to put this a little bit down and then want to match with the background. But because those pillars will be in the air, this is not so important. This is important to match the camera, the perspective and everything. If some pillars are on the ground or other elements are on the ground, and then you need to match the perspective and everything. So here it's not so crucial because it's different kind of a scene. So I want to move the pillar. I will go to that cube and I will just move it up. Also what I like to do, I like to change the light. So we have the light here, or we can go to the light here and just change the light, change the brightness. But because this material it's a little bit different, it doesn't catch the light nicely, we need to change the material. So for that, let's go here to this tab, material, cube material, and just choose any of these cool materials. Let's use this white, it doesn't matter, we can use this one or this one, whichever you find it nice. This is some kind of a glass material, transparent, etc. So I'll just use a simple white material and then go to the light and just lower the intensity, okay, and I can just play with the light position. I want to have it something like this, and also want to have a little bit more diffuse light. This is just the basic, guys, and I will not go through this like a full tutorial on 3D. I'm just showing you some ideas how you can do it, and then it's up to you to play with this. Then I want to go back to my cube. I want to bring it up, and then I want to rotate it something like this, and maybe even like that, why not? Also guys, we can change the camera. So we can go right here to current view, to the camera here, and change the lens. I maybe want 24mm lens because it's more dynamic. And when I bring this back, I just rotate it like this and bring it here to the front, you can see it's a little bit more dynamic. Okay, that's cool. Maybe like this. And now when you finish, you can position it somewhere here and that's one. Then you can go and copy it, go to the layers, press Ctrl or Command J, make a copy of the same pillar, and go here and position it somewhere on the background, rotate it differently, like I did with my in Cinema 4D. So maybe something like this, maybe make it even smaller, put it down on the ground somewhere here, and that's another one, and you can make a third one, and that's it. And now when you finish all this, when you choose materials, etc., you need to render it. Photoshop, it's so bad in rendering, it takes forever, and I actually don't like it. I almost never use 3D in Photoshop. I always use Cinema 4D because it's a million times faster, and of course you can do in Cinema whatever. In Photoshop you're limited to just few things. And to render it, you just need to go all the way to the 3D and just click this render button, and now this will take forever. I will just cancel it, okay, because I don't want that. Another way, if you just want to have it like this without rendering, you can go to layers, go to a 3D layer, and then just right click and say rasterize 3D, and same with another one, rasterize 3D. Now you have this as a separate layers, and that's cool, and you can start with this. So in my version I have 3 pillars, another is somewhere here, it's smaller, and it's something like this, and this is our starting position. So I will just delete this because I will use mine that I created in Cinema 4D. For me this is much better. Of course you can see much more details, it's some kind of abstract shape, it's not just a plain pillar, etc. Some lights, some different displacement on the pillars, etc. So this is my starting position, and now I will put some other elements on the scene. So before I go and put myself in the scene and make some changes here, I just noticed that you can see this spike here, this corner is covering the background, and I don't like it. Maybe I like it better if it's something like this, there is some kind of distance between them, or maybe even more down, but this is like almost touching it. I don't like it. So what will we do here? Let me show you how we can just move this a little bit down. Let's go to the background. I will copy it just in case I mess something up to have a spare version. Press Ctrl or Command J to make a copy, and then we can go to transform the background. So for that I will press Ctrl or Command T, and this is our transform tool. Right click and go to wrap. And here we have some new options. You can see that we don't see a grid here, and we can choose between 3 by 3 like it was before. This is like a default grid. We can choose 4 by 4, 5 by 5, etc. Or we can create our own. So let's go to default, there is nothing. And now if you press and hold Alt or Option key, this is only in Photoshop 2020 guys. There is no, in earlier version of Photoshop, there is no this option for making your own grid. So if you press and hold Alt or Option key, you can see there is vertical and horizontal line. You just need to position wherever you want. I want it here, click it, and you have your own lines. So I want it here, click it, I want it here, etc. If you only want horizontal or vertical, if you don't want both, just go to one side here. This is for vertical lines, this is for horizontal lines, etc. Okay, and now I can just move this portion here without messing other things too much. If I need more, I will create more like this, if I want to save the sky, etc. So this is pretty cool. Maybe this up a little bit, this down, and I like it. I can even go here and do something like that. Then I can press OK, and I'm ready to go. So this is before, this is after. I just push this a little bit down. This is how I like it. Of course, if you're practicing with this image, you can do whatever you want. It's up to you. Okay, now I want to go back to my workspace. Okay, this is it. And now let's go and grab some other elements here. Okay, let's find myself. This is it. I took a photo in the studio, as you can see, and I already extracted out of the background to save the time for this tutorial. If you don't know how to do it, check out my tutorial about that on the link right here. So I will just copy this and paste it right here. And because now I'm of course too big, I want to make myself as a smart object. So right click, convert to smart object, and then press Ctrl or Command T to make myself smaller. Why I'm doing this as a smart object? Because I'm not sure about the size, and maybe if I like to be small like this and I change my mind, I can easily make it bigger as original without losing the quality, because this layer, it's contained in a smart object and it will maintain the quality no matter how many times you make it bigger or smaller. Otherwise it will lose the quality a lot. Okay, so I will press again Ctrl Command T, make myself smaller. Let me see. I want to be probably this size. Okay, maybe something like this, right? I want to have impression that this is really big and I'm really small. And now what we need to do, we need to make a shadow for myself. So, you know, I have a full tutorial on how to create shadows, how to create realistic shadow in Photoshop. You can watch it on the link right here. And there are 3 types of shadows, depends on the environment, etc. So here we will have basically just one shadow from the sun, which is on the left side right here, and it will go somewhere in this direction, and we can draw it. That's a little bit pain in the, you know, but it's possible to draw the shadow. I will just quickly show you. You need to draw then the head, the arm, the other arm, holding this, etc. Of course, you need to invest time, but the best way to do this, if you're already taking your own photos, is to go and take a photo of yourself facing towards the light, so that you will have a silhouette of yourself that you can transform into the shadow. So let me show you that. I already took a photo of myself, just turned towards the camera, so this will be my shadow, and I already extracted myself as a silhouette. I will just copy this and go right here and paste it, make myself smaller, right? Make the shadow smaller, and let me see, it's approximately like this, but we'll make the shadow a little bit longer. So now what I like to do, I just want to press and hold Ctrl or Command key and just put this down, okay, and do like this, but we need to switch this. So right click, flip vertical, and this is cool. So now I'm holding Ctrl or Command on a Mac and just moving these corners, and as you can see, we have perfect shadow. I want a little bit longer shadow and a little bit thinner. That's cool. But this is the shadow of myself if the light is facing from the left side. This is really cool and easy trick to fake the real shadow, so I like it. Let me see, we can move this, and for now this is pretty cool. I will press enter, and now I need to just mimic this scarf that I have that I didn't put on myself when I took a photo. So to do that, I will just take again black color and just with a little bit harder brush, 100% opacity, I will just go and just make like having a scarf. Nobody will notice this. That's pretty cool. All right. And now we just need to play with the colors. So because the shadow is not completely black, especially on this yellow surface, the shadow will be darker version of the yellow. So orange yellow. We need to tweak this. I will put this into multiply blending mode, and then I will go and use hue and saturation adjustment layer, clip it to affect only the shadow. Okay, and go here and say colorize. And then I will make everything brighter. See, I have already color here, but I want a little bit more orangey, not red color, and I can change the saturation. So I want a little bit desaturated version, a little bit brighter. And this is much better now than it was before, like completely black shadow. I don't like that. So this is pretty cool, and I will leave it like that for now, and we can later tweak it. Only thing that I want to do now is to go to a blur tool, maybe strength around, I don't know, 35 or something like that, and to blur this just a little bit not too much, but this is pretty cool. And I'm done. Now I want to go to myself, Nemanja, make layer mask, zoom it all the way down to the legs. And what I like to do right here, I want to use a black brush, 100% opacity, and I just want to erase parts of my shoes just to have impression, but yeah, I need to use a brush, just to have impression that I'm in the sand, right? That the sand is over my feet, so over my shoes. So this is cool. And this will not be visible, especially on Instagram, but I love to add some kind of small details. And this is practically first step. Okay, the next step is to play with the pillars a little bit, to add emotion, to have impression that they're really flying, actually falling down. One, it's hitting the sand, so we'll add some effects there, some smoke, sand flying around, some debris, etc. So let's do it. Okay, let's first clean up this a little bit. I will select all three layers, press Ctrl or Command G, and make a group and name it model. Okay, then we have 3D in a separate group, and I will select those two, Ctrl or Command G, and name background. Alright, now we will go into a 3D group. As you can see, I have pillars on the separate layers, which is cool. And I will first go and play with the smallest one. We need to blur this one to make impression that it's really falling down, it has some kind of a speed. So I will transform this into a smart object. So right click and convert to smart object. Why? You will see, because now I will apply filter, and if I'm not satisfied with the amount of the filter, I can always easily change it without going undo and then repeat everything again. And if I don't like it, I need to undo it again, etc. So this is much better and convenient. So I will go to filter, blur, actually blur gallery, and let's go to path blur. So this is cool, and this is the path. I want to go like this, put one here, put one there, and in this direction the blur will occur. So this is really cool, and we just need to play with the speed. This is too much, of course. I just want a little bit, but still, that is maybe 28, I don't know, let's see. This is pretty good, and I will press OK, and now you will see I will have the effect here on the practically separate layer. It's a smart filter, and if I don't like it, I can just hide it, or if it's too much or too little, I can double click on this and just move it again and change the amount of the effect. That's why I like to use smart objects to add those smart filters. Okay, this is pretty good for now. So this pillar is falling down. We need to do the same for this one. So this is another one. This is second pillar. Okay, and this is already smart objects, so I just need to go to filter, blur gallery, and pad blur. Pretty cool, and I will do the same. So just choose direction, and this one will be really maybe 10, just small amount, just like, because it's already hit the ground. It's not still, it's not like quite still. It's still moving down. It's hitting the sand. It's going through the sand, but it's not like so fast as this big one. So maybe 8. Let's see. Before and after, maybe 8 or 9. Let's do 9 for now, and we will see. So this is pretty cool. I will press OK. And now we have this one and this one with the blur effect. Now what we need to do on this one, we need to add some kind of sand. It's flying around, dust, debris, etc. So for that, I will use my custom made brush for these kind of effects. I have a tutorial on how to create custom smoke cloud dust brush on the link right here. Also, I have a tutorial on how to create your own custom debris brush on the link right here. In case you don't want to invest time and create your own brushes, you can go down in the description, check out the links, and purchase my set of these brushes for just $1 per brush set. So it's your choice. Let's do and create these kind of effects. So first, what I like to do, I like to create new layer and name it dust. Okay. And then I will go to a brush, right click, and I have my set of cloud brushes. So for this I will use this one and make it bigger and choose the color. So if you press Alt or Option key and hold it, you will have this eyedropper and you can pick the color from the screen. So let's use this one for a start, why not? Or maybe a little bit brighter, this one, and just, this is 20% opacity, I will use maybe 80% opacity and just make some smoke. Just the first shape, like it's going like this and this. And now we need to make darker version of it. So I will switch it with the X, switch the colors and use darker version. And maybe with 20% opacity, I need to create shadows, maybe 10% opacity. So here and here it will be darker because the sun will hit the front part of the smoke and another part will be definitely darker. And don't be scared to just experiment, play, and just go and switch between darker and brighter color and just do like this. So it's really cool. Now I will choose this one, this color, and just play with this. And guys, I will now just switch between brighter and darker colors, and that's basically it. I will fast forward this and come back soon. Alright guys, so this is basically it. This pillar is hitting down the sand and the sand is kind of exploding. And now we need to add some smaller debris particles. So I will create a new layer, name this debris. And again, for this I will use my debris brushes. So I will use the first one. And this is cool, as you can see. So I will add some debris here. I will have two layers actually. Another one will be below, behind the dust. So debris number 2. And I will use darker for that and put it like behind. That's cool. And go back here and use brighter color and just play with this. Right, I will not invest too much time for this. I'm now showing you the point of how you should do it. And now it's up to you to really invest time and go forward, backwards, and just play with this. This is really cool. We can fix the sand a little bit, dust a little bit. We can even change the color control or Command U to go with the hue and saturation, and maybe a little bit, just -2 to match the other color. And let me see, maybe just +8 saturation. So this is pretty cool. And of course you can go and create another layer with dust number 2 and just play with the dust brush. Let's choose again this dust brush and just add even more. Just add even more, choose the color, change it. Just play with this, right? Sometimes I like this nice white color to add the highlights here. And this is pretty much it. So I like it for now. Of course it can be a little bit better, but you need to invest a little bit more time. I don't want to bother you anymore with this. So the next step is to create the dust cloud around myself down below. So because like this, the idea is like this big pillar is coming down and it suddenly stopped, and it's a big pressure on the air that is going down and make like big smoke, big cloud circle around it. So I hope you get it. So let me show you how to do it. Let's go here below the pillar. Actually we can go, yeah, we can go actually all the way up. We need to go all the way up above the model because we need to have everything around. You will see. Let's close this and let's name this like a big circular, I think that's how I spell it, smoke or cloud, smoke. Okay, and now there is a really cool way how you can do it. First I want to use elliptical marquee tool and just define the shape. So this is the shape of the cloud that I like to use. We can also change the shape a little bit later, but this is our starting position. Really cool. And that's it. Now I want to go and transform this to transform it into path. So to do that, go to the path and just click this icon right here, and this is a path. Why I'm doing this? Because now I will use a brush. I will use my smoke brush, this one. I will use 100% opacity, choose a color, and I want maybe a little bit brighter. This is not too. I want to make this, and this is pretty cool too, but there is a trick. Just choose the brush size like this, go to a pen tool or press P on a keyboard, right click and go to a stroke path. Choose a brush, press OK, and this is it. Now I'll press delete to delete the path. I don't need it anymore, and this is really cool. So now what I will do, I will just do the same like I did here, paint some shadows on this side. So maybe this is too much. Let's choose some dark shadow, 20% opacity or even 10% opacity brush, and just paint the shadows here. Okay, and inside here there will be shadow because the sun is coming from the left side, so it will hit the outer part of this smoke, and here will be highlights. Inside will be shadow. Okay, and from this side it will be shadow, and from the other side it will be like bright, pretty bright, maybe not like white completely, but something like this. So I will go and add some highlights here and also highlights here, and I will now go and fast forward this, play with this, adding some shadows, adding some highlights, some midtones, just painting with this, playing with this, and I will come back. Alright guys, so this is it, and now I can make it maybe a little bit bigger. Control Command T, and now we need to erase the smoke from left side of myself. So the easiest way to do this is to create a mask. Go to a model, press Control or Command key, click on the model to load the selection, go right here. I like to use a normal brush for this, so just regular soft brush. Black color, 100% opacity, and you can see, just erase it. Okay, so this is it. Also, if you want to add some dust on the model, no problem, go back with the white. Actually, there is a really cool way if you want to switch between black and white. If you want to like erase and then paint back some things, you can press and hold tilde key. It's the key below the escape key. That's a new thing on in Photoshop 2020. So if you want to switch really quickly to eraser with the same brush, same settings, same adjustments, you just need to press tilde key and suddenly it's not a brush anymore, it's eraser tool. Really cool and really fast way to switch things. So I will just press and hold tilde key and maybe just add a little bit more smoke here. A little bit, not too much. Okay, maybe this is too much. So something like this is cool. And now we have this big cool smoke that is dust smoke, dust cloud that is making from the artifact that is falling down. So that's really cool. Okay, the next step is to create this like magic something, I don't know how to call it, some Doctor Strange magic shield that is actually stopping the pillar. So for that I will use, let me show you this photo. Believe it or not, I will use this photo. I will use rectangular marquee tool and just select this, press Control or Command C to copy it, bring it back and paste it right here. Now it's too big, obviously. I will make it smaller, a lot smaller, rotate it and put it here, press Enter and change this from normal to screen blending mode. This is really cool. Okay, and now what I like to do, I like to load the levels, Control or Command L and add a little bit more blacks like that. Also make a mask and just with a black color, 100% opacity, I just want to erase this. Okay, and this is really cool. I use photo of a planet for this cool effect. Now we need to play with this. We will create a new layer and name it glow or color, and I will put it in linear dodge blending mode. Use some kind of a darker reddish tone like this, and just with a soft brush, really soft brush, and maybe 10% opacity. Let's go back. 10% opacity. I will just paint over it, maybe 20%, and it's not almost visible. Yeah, that's cool. I will paint over it just to add some kind of a glow. Maybe, yeah, that's pretty cool. Maybe to make this smaller, just a little bit. Okay, like this. That's a little bit too big. Okay, and this glow, let me see, to make a glow a little bit smaller too. And let me show you before and after, really cool. And now what I like to do to add even more effects, I will go and use this photo. So I will copy it, go back, paste it, put it in a screen blending mode, and I have some edges that I can see, and I will again lower the levels and just boost it the blacks, right? That's cool. And I have this, and this is cool. So I can go here and add hue and saturation adjustment layer, clip it to affect only this layer, and say colorize, and this is pretty nice. Let me see, maybe even more like this. And we can leave it like that. That's cool effect. Or I can go and go to filter, blur, motion blur, and just blur it like 90 degrees and blur it a lot to have this kind of effect that it's not bad at all. I really like it. I can put this even in linear dodge blending mode. So screen, linear dodge is a little bit better for this effect, and that's it. This is really cool. Also, what I can do, I can press Ctrl or Command T and just make it wider. Why not? That's another cool effect. Like this is the force that is stopping the falling pillar. I love it. You obviously see, guys, that I love to play with these kind of things. I can select everything, the magic effects, group it, I will call magic. Okay, and then I can select magic and the model and just maybe move it a little bit to the left, like, oops, now the problem is in this. Okay, let me see what we have as a problem here. We need to move everything, so, okay, no problem. Let's move everything, like, a little bit to the left, like this, perfect. Okay, this is almost done. Now what I like to do, I like to make these lights on the pillars glowy a little bit more. So there is a really cool way to do it. I will show you one really cool trick. All you need to do is just to select the lights and then add a glow. That's it, simple as that. Let me show you how to do it. So let's go to the 3D, let's go to a big pillar, and actually it doesn't matter. Actually, let's go to select, color range, and just choose yellow because yellow is the color of the lights. I will press OK, and now I have selection of everything that is yellow on the screen. So now I will create a new layer, create a mask, okay, and press Alt or Option key to see the mask. So I don't need all of these things around, I just need the big pillar. So I will press Ctrl or Command on a Mac, click to select the big pillar, invert the selection with Shift Ctrl I or Shift Command I on a Mac, and fill this with the black color. Because the black is foreground color, I will press Alt or Option with the backspace, and that's it. Now we have only the lights on the big pillar, on the mask, and that's it. Now what we need to do is to make this selection a little bit wider and a little bit more feathery. So how to do that? Really easy. Press and hold Ctrl or Command key, click on the mask to load the selection. As you can see, we loaded the selection. Now let's go to Select, Modify, Expand. We want to make it bigger, to expand the selection, and 3 pixels, it's not bad, maybe 5. Let's go 5. Okay, you can see now it's more expanded. And then go again, Select, Modify, and Feather. And feather maybe 20 pixels, I don't know. Okay, and now if we go back here, press Alt or Option key to see what we are doing, and fill this selection with white, because white is background color. Then we need to press Ctrl or Command with the backspace. You can see we have this kind of a glowy effect. Before and after filling, it's glowing. If you fill it again, it will glow even more. So I will just go once, and now I will fill this layer. Of course, we need to deselect, Ctrl Command D, and fill this layer with this reddish color. So fill it and put this layer into linear dodge blending mode. So before and after, really cool. We have that glow. And also, guys, if that's not enough, you can go and expand it even more and feather it even more to have even bigger kind of a glow effect. But this is really cool way how you can do that pretty fast and easily. Alright, so that's basically it. All we need to do is to do some color correction and to merge everything into one layer and do final color grading, and we're done. So let's do it. So for the color correction, I just want to make myself a little bit more yellowish. So let's go right here and let's create a new adjustment layer, color balance, clip to affect only myself. I will go to shadows and want to make the shadows a little bit more yellowish and more reddish. So as you can see, and also highlights. I want the highlights a little bit more reddish and yellowish, and this is much better. So before and after, really cool. Also what we can do, maybe this is too much. Also what we can do, we can make some parts of myself a little bit brighter and to add some kind of a color. So let's go here, create new layer, clip it to affect only myself. Let's name this color and put this into color dodge blending mode. Again, let's choose this red and just make this arm a little bit more reddish, face, shoulder here, just like from this part here. Like this light is making myself a little bit more brighter and more reddish yellowish. So not like that. Okay, I can change the color by pressing Ctrl or Command U, and just see, I can change more towards the yellow. I can make it brighter even. This is cool, and yeah, I really like it. Also now we can play a little bit more, add a little bit more details, dodge and burn the model. You know how to do it. If you don't know how to dodge and burn and what is it, you can watch my tutorial about that on link right here. We will not do this now because this tutorial is already too long, and now I will merge everything into one layer by pressing, wait, let's make this a little bit better, pressing Shift Control Alt E or Shift Command Option E on a Mac, and this is it. And then I will go to filter, camera raw, and make some adjustment there. Like I want to add a contrast a little bit, want to open the shadows a little bit, boost the whites, add a texture, add a clarity, add the haze, lower the saturation. Okay. Also I want to go and add vignette like this, maybe a little bit more. Then I want to go to calibration and just boost the reds, not the boost actually, to move the reds towards the orange and to move the blues towards the cyan. So we have this kind of split toning orange and teal look. It's really cool for this because everything is orange and blue, so we can make it orange and teal like this. Pretty much cool. Then I can sharpen it here a little bit. Press Alt Option here to see what I will sharp. Everything that is white will be sharpened, affected. So this is cool. Lower the radius. I can go to split toning and add a little bit more reddish orange tone in the highlights, but just a bit, and some teal in the shadows, but I will affect only the darkest shadows. You can see the sky, just again a bit, not too much. And also I will go to graduated filter and let's reset everything. And I want to add some bright light from the left side, so boost the exposure, boost the shadows, just a touch, okay? Like the sun is coming from this direction, so this is cool. And let me see, this is pretty good. If you press P on a keyboard, you will see before and after. I can go to saturation and just lower the reds and orange a little bit, not too much, and I will press OK, and this is it. This is before and after, really cool. And here on the screen you can see my version after a little bit more tweaking, and also you can check it out on Instagram if you're up to it. Right guys, that's it for today. I really hope that you like this episode and that you learn a bunch of interesting tips, tricks and techniques from this one that you can later implement and use in your own projects, in your own images. Also guys, I really hope that this episode inspired you to create something on your own, maybe something similar, maybe something completely different. It doesn't matter. What matters is to just practice, experiment and have fun while doing it. Also guys, if you want to help me to make this channel even bigger and better, you can do this by visiting my Patreon page. The link is down there in the description, and also you will get some things in return like my PSD files, etc. So just check it out. And if you like this content, if you appreciate this episode, just press the like button down below, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe in case you're not already, and also ring that bell to get notified about all the future episodes. And if you have anything to ask me, any kind of question regarding to this episode, please leave the comments down there in the comment section below. I will be glad to answer it. Have fun experiment and see you guys in my next fun episode. Bye bye.